स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम् स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि.
So we have a commentary on the Dharma Shloka also. Dharma Shloka, of course, is given a special attention. Okay. 118. Tathacha Shishyate. Yatha Yuvanam Yathacha Madahastina. Mother, put a dash so that easily understood. Mother dash. Hastinam. Yathacha Putram Daitam. Yeah. Tatha Eva Upachare Dhari. The Yatha Priyatitim. The Ya should be long vowel. Yatha Priyatitim. Yeah. Praptam Bhagavantam Tatharthe. Iti Samhitantaram. Evakarabhipretam Anyadapi Vivranoti Upayatam. Mukta Vyapara Nyayena Swayam Padatvat Kshanikasya Kalantara Bhavi Phala Sadhanatva Anupapatti Darshanachya Na Asya Swavyapare Mokshopayata Buddhirapi Yaditi. The basic principle in Prapatti Yoga, as we all understand, is we must not do 2 times Prapatti. If at all we do Prapatti, it should be only for one at a time. And that is already given by the Charama Shloka of Sri Rama Avatara. Sakirdeva Prapannaya Tavasmi Tijayashate. Number 2, so if at all you have understood that we have committed sins after the Prapatti, then you have another way out, the Prayaschitta Prapatti, the remedial Prapatti, Parihara Prapatti and so on. So that will be the last one. So that is the last the meaning of the last sentence today, page 118, in this page, in this screen. Mokshopayata buddhirapi syatu. Now again, please understand, before we go to this paragraph, that the yogas, karma, jnana, bhakti and prapatti yogas are not the real, rather important means of moksha. Though initially we have a desire to attain moksha. Moksha, as you know, there are many interpretations. Number 1, freedom from the cycle of birth and death, no return from the Vaikuntha here for the Jivatma, and then you have Preeti as the affection and the aim, sole aim of moksha, call it. Otherwise, you can say service to the Lord, permanent service to the Lord. These are the 3 types of moksha that we have. So then again, mokshopaya, the means of this moksha, emancipation, liberation, beatitude, all these things are not importantly through these yogas. In order to only achieve the preeti of the Lord, in order to, in fact, I will say the negative and the positive aspect also. In order to please the Lord, while we please the Lord, He will be affectionate to us. And when we displease the Lord, He has the mind to punish us. And therefore, so let us avoid His punishment. That means let us avoid His anger, kopam, krodha. So these are all certain what we call ways of doing prapatti, or why we do all this? Why we do all this? Karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, prapatti yoga. Why? Why? So how we have been explaining? How? Ending with kirtanaihi, upasana. So one more aspect today, the outcome of the discussion was whoever has done the prapatti, total surrender, can be called a scholar. I'm very happy that all of us are scholars. Those who have done prapatti, those who are called prapanna, can be called vidwan. Whether you have studied, you have not studied, even if you have not studied shastras like scriptures, smritis, dharma shastras, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Brahma Sutras, commentaries, even stotras, ordinary psalms and prayers, nothing we have done studied, but still we can be called vidwan. Once we understand that the final goal is prapatti. Again, we understand prapatti is an end in itself. That's what we thought earlier. We have been stressing on this. Why do we? What is the aim of our prapatti? What is the advantage of our prapatti? Prapatti itself. That is what Nyasa Vimshati of Vedanta Deshika. Don't have any other aim. It is enough that you fall at the feet of the Lord. That's all. That is enough. So you need not do anything else. Now again, another point today's discussion was we understand that we have limited freedom. We are not doing anything. We are doing as a representative of the Lord because He directed us to do something. We are doing. All these are akin to, similar to doing nothing. We don't do anything. We don't do anything. That means after prapatti, now we have a very beautiful convenience, namely prapatti. So after doing prapatti, should we go on doing this normal karma yoga, normal duties of a human being, which are required by the what you call, say, in a nuclear family, surrounding friends, the society, and so on? Are we committed to? Are we doing? Or should we do something daily? Even, for example, daily duties. Then the question is: should we eat? Should we take food? You cannot avoid because the stomach pinches. So you can't question: should we take food? We can't remain like a sage years together starving. Even on one day, Ekadashi day, coming Sunday, we are not able to do that. So here, so the problem is, what do we do? So Vedanta Deshika advises, don't stop in ever doing. The duties should not be ever stopped. That means, again, what do we do? Again, what do we do? Along with all other normal activities of this life, human life, one thing is very certain: discuss on God. Discuss on God. Otherwise called Vedanta Vicharaha. I would also say Vicharaha. Vicharaha in Sanskrit can mean in Tamil worry. We are worried about. So we are all worried about. Again, we are all worried. Today we are most worried. We are worried about our life. We have fears of life. We are all worried, totally worried. We are sad. But we should be worried about the Lord. Earlier, just a few earlier sessions, we were talking about Periyalvar's attitude of taking care of the Lord. So we were worried about the Lord. We were worried about the Lord. So that should be our aim. So Vedanta Vicharaha again, go to Upanishads, learn the Upanishads, discuss them, discuss the pros and cons, discuss various interpretations, and then find out which is the best. And that will show you that the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya will be the best. So that should be the conclusion. So don't remain idle. That's the advice that we take from Vedanta. So here, so now we go to this paragraph. So with this background knowledge, go to this paragraph. So tatata shishyate. Shishyate. Shishyaha, you know the word shishyaha, disciple, student. So shishyate is training is given, advised. This is how it is advised. Tathacha in the same way, and shishyate advice. So what is advice? Now, suppose a young man comes. Young man in the sense you can say very young, who cannot take care of himself. A very young man, a very young child, man or woman, girl or boy, very young in the sense innocent, ignorant, the one who does not know the ways of life, who does not possess worldly knowledge. So he is called the Yuvana. So what do? We start guiding, we start directing, we start advising. We try to make him understand the vicissitudes of life. Vicissitudes of life. So yatha yuvanam, then yathaja, then as you take care of a young man, young person, you're a young man and a young woman also, young lady, young girl. Now we have to be more careful with the young girl also. So a lot of instructions are given for her in the young age. When she attains puberty, when she becomes Bahistha at the age of 10, 12, 13, 14 and so on, a lot of advice is needed for her. How to keep herself safe, how to keep herself hygienically clean and so on. So many. And even the boys also need a lot of advice. Yuvanam. Then Yathacha Mother Hastinam. A mad elephant is there. Mad elephant. An elephant which has oozed lot of ichor. ICHOR. Rut. RUT. That's called the mother. The hormone that secretes from the 7 parts of the body of an elephant is called the mother. And therefore, we have a comparison in literature that there is a tree with 7 leaves in a stem. Saptapatram. Saptapatram is the name of the tree. Saptapatri. So that tree, that leaf has a peculiar smell. So that smell comes from the ichor. So that is the smell of the ichor. The Saptaparni, we call it Saptaparni. SAPTA capital N double I. Saptaparni. Parna meaning patra, leaf. I think we have not seen that particular tree. The tree with the leaves, 7 parts of the leaf in a single stem, and that is called. So when you go near the tree, you will get a smell. And smell is not very pungent, but sometimes it creates allergy to some people. So when you go near the elephant releases a rug. It is normal. It is generally normal. We also, as a human being, we also have secretion of hormones. When the secretion of hormones is in balance, is normal, then all our growth, the growth of the body as well as the attitude of the mind are all normal. If the hormone secretion is either low or high, the problem comes. Health problem comes. So also mother has, an elephant should be controlled while it releases a larger amount of rust, larger amount of ichor. Then what do? You take care of it. And what you call the veterinary doctor gives an injection and it is controlled. Then yathacha putram dayitam. There's a specific adjective to the son. It can be a daughter also. So dayitam putram. We used to say when there are three sons of the sons of parents, three sons of parents. The first son will be liked by the father. The third son, the youngest son, will be liked by the mother. The middle son, the second son, will be left in the lurch. No, neither father nor mother likes him. This is not generally said in some dramas like what you call Madhyamam Vyayogam. There's a drama called Madhyamam Vyayogam written by Basa. Basa has written 13 dramas. He is a predecessor to Kalidasa. He is also a guru to Kalidasa, famous Kalidasa Sanskrit. His called name is Basa. Basa is, I told you already, he is a Sri Vaishnava. Because he has written a book called Vishnu Dharma. Vishnu Dharma. So he has written a drama called Madhyamam Vyayoga. The concept there is the first son is liked by the father, the last son is liked by the mother. Generally, we say the youngest child will be shown more affection by the mother because it needs affection. Not that the eldest child will not need affection, but the more care is needed for the youngest child. And therefore, even parents, father or mother, will show a lot of affection towards the youngest child. Even now it is true. Because whether it is daughter or son, the mother will feel more affectionate towards the youngest child. So, putram dayitam. Suppose the son is not normal, then what will you do? Just give him up. So, putram dayitam. Only a son who loves the father, parents, or the son who is dear to the parents. In turn, the reciprocation is also necessary. When parents show affection to the child also should reciprocate. So, putram dayitam. Because it needs daya. It's called dayitam. Dayitaha is one who needs. So, tathaiva, tata eva, upachared hari. So, there are three examples. He is like a mad elephant. He is a young man. Nitya Yuva, we call Ranganatha as Nitya Yuva, permanent youth. Then Putram Daitam, he is like a special, he is not a challenged son, but he is a normal son who needs attention. Then Tata Eva in the same way, Harim Upachare. We have to take care of the Lord. So that is in reciprocation only. We are not loving the God earlier than Him. He loves us more, and we have to love Him most. So Upachare Dhari. That is why we call in the Tiruvaradhanam Shodasha Upacharaha. 16 Upacharas. 16. Keshavdas Swami knows deeply well. Upachared Harim. Upachared Harim. We read it as Tatevo Upachared Harim. I will also say Dhara. Dhara, because he sustains us, he holds us, he bears us, he takes responsibility for us. He takes our responsibility. He is very responsible. Then if you can extend this simile, then he says, Yatha Priya Atithi. We have two qualifications here. One qualification for the child, daughter or the son, and the second qualification is a dear guest. You like some guest, you dislike some guest. Of course, the disliking is not to be done because Bhagavad Gita advises you. No hatred, no liking. Nadveshi, nadveshi, na priyaha. Na priyaha, neither you are dear nor you are an enemy to. So, priya athitim. Again, athitim, I think already we know the definition of athitim. One who does not give you WhatsApp message and comes. So he arrives at a sudden moment. When you are not prepared to welcome a guest. You have no food ready. You have already taken your food. And nothing remains at home. Like Shankaracharya's approach to a lady who had nothing except dry Myro ball and fruit. Amla fruit. Gooseberry. We call it gooseberry. Only one very old gooseberry fruit was there. And she gave whatever was available there, only that to Shankaracharya who was begging. And then Kanakadhara Stotram emerged, and then she became very rich. So here, so whatever we have, this is what we understood from the history of Tiruvallur Vaidya Veeraragava Swami, where the Lord Sivanarayana comes in the form of an old man, approaches the Shalihotra Maharishi, and then Shalihotra offers him food. Fortunately, he has food prepared and ready for the guest. But the old man demands all the food, entire food from him. He gives it, he donates it, and they remain hungry. And that is the story behind Tiruvallur Archavatara of Archavatara of Lord Rama Sivan Narayana with the name Vaidya Veeraragava, Dr. Veeraragava. So here, so with this, so what you do is Priya Atithim, Priya Atithim, dear guest. You have been inviting the guest earlier because he is dear to you, but he is arriving suddenly without informing you. That is, so Praptam, he reached. So who has reached you? Now here Priya Atithim is Bhagavanta. Lord has reached you. Lord has reached. Tatha, in that way, Bhagavantam Tatha Archayet. If you see an arrival of a guest, dear guest, lovable guest, affectionate guest, because he is not your son, he is not a young man, he must be an old man. So generally, of course, respect should be given to the old people more than the young people. But the Sanskrit Subhadikam says, Shishurva, Yuvava, Vruddhova, Grihamagata. Balova, not Shishu. Balova, Yuvava, Vruddhova, Grihamagataha. Once he comes to the house, our house, namely Balova, young boy, or you can say Balikava, Balava, young girl, then Yuvava, a youth, a 16 or sweet 16, and then Vruddhova, an old person. Grihamagataha, once he arrived at our house, Tasya Puja Vidhatavya. Tasya Puja Vidhatavya. You have to worship him. You have to favor him. You have to help him. You have to entertain him. You have to extend hospitality to him. And therefore, what is the main purpose? Griham Abhyagato Guru. Though he is very younger to you, 40 years younger to you, 50 years younger to you, and 20 years younger to you, then 20 years elder to you. Whether this way or that way, then you have to treat him as your teacher, treat him as your elder, treat him like your father. Guru, Gram Abhyagato Guru. So in the same way, you have to treat Bhagavantam. Yesterday, somebody told me, I visited him, and then he said, 1 minute, please wait for 1 minute. I will show the food to Lord and come. The Naivedya காட்டிட்டு வந்துடுறேன். I will show the food to him. I will not offer the food to him. Please wait for a minute. I will just show the food to him. And showing the food, that's all. That means the Lord will not be allowed to take the food. That is why, in Thiruvaradhanam, we always feel that really he is not taking, like Nadadur Ammal insisting upon taking what we call tepid milk, warm milk. And Lord was very happy to take it. And even father could not believe that the child has offered the milk, tepid milk, warm milk, instead of hot milk. So this is how. So Priya Atithim Bhagavantam Praptam Bhagavantam Upachare. So he must be worshipped. So there are 4 examples now. So it should be either guest, dear guest, lovable guest. Then the previous, the 3 people. Mother Hastinam, mad elephant. Then Yuvanam, the young person. Putram Daita, and the son. Because the Putram Daitam, we will have filial affection. The blood relationship, because of the blood relationship, we will have filial affection. But how do we have somebody unrelated to us? Yuvanam. Mother Hastinam, who will go near the mad elephant? Nobody will go near the mad elephant. But we have to help him in so serious way. So then, who says this? So it is Samhitantaram. Samhita. Samhita is again the name given to generally a part of the scripture. But Samhitantaram is another scripture, you can say. But we don't know exactly the source. That is why Swami Vedanta Desika himself says that Samhitantaram, another Samhita. It can also be called not seriously as part of scripture. It can be any work, any kavyam, any general work, like Ramayana, Mahabharatam. And please note, if you get this quotation from Ramayana and Mahabharata or any other kavyam, any other what you call ornate epic, whether it's called court epic, you call it Sugrit Samhita. Sugrit Samhita, friendly work. Friendly work. If you take the scriptures, it is Prabhu Samhita, the master's work. work of the master, master's work, tyrant's work. He is ordering you and you have to obey. Prabhu Samhita. Sugrit Samhita is Smritis and Dharma Shastra. And Mahabharata and Ramayana can be called what we call Kanta Samhita. As a wife advises you. As the wife advises the husband. Samhita Antara, somewhere it is. The Evakara Abhipreta. Now we have already called Eva in the Gitartha Sangraha. So Eva is only. So Evakara is the word Eva. Abhipretam, what is the opinion? What is understood by Evakara? Anyatapi Vivrinoti. Swami Yamunacharya Swami explains Vivrinoti Anyatapi, something else also. By the word Eva. What is that? So that we have already seen. Upayatam. We saw Upayatam Parityajya. Upayatam Parityajya. Already we saw. We should give up the thought that the yogas are upayas. Not major upayas or important upayas. They are not so. But upayata is again the quality of the means. The meanness. They call it the aspect of means. So mukta vyapara nyaya. Now this is something different from what we think. Though we must do prapatti, then after prapatti also we must continue to do all actions, normal actions. But here, mukta vyapara nyaya is vyaparam, business, activity. Vyaparam is activity, can also be business. A protocol, a brass tack. So mukta, a person released soul, a released soul has nothing to do with the what we call atiti, the atiti satkaram, and so on. So the karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga all become null and void. Prapatti yoga all become null and void once a soul is released. Then what will he do? He will give up all this. Mukta vyapara. There are two meanings for the mukta vyapara. Vyapara is given up. The activity is given up. That is mukta vyapara. Then muktasya vyapara, the activity of the released soul. Now don't take the negative one, namely give up the activity. If you give up the activity, that means even you are not fit to be a released soul. A released soul also has got lot of duties to perform. But when the duties are performed, he likes them and does it. That's all. He is not indifferent towards those activities. Here, of course, in human life, we may be indifferent towards serving the Lord. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. By compulsion, we may do something. With indifference, we will do something. With pride, we may do something. But there is not a single bad quality is there connected in mukta vyapara. So mukta vyapara nyayena. So what is the beauty of mukta vyapara is the released soul performs the actions swayam by himself. Nobody introduces or induces or encourages or enthuses. He just does it by himself. Automatically, voluntarily. He does it voluntarily. Swayam. Not only voluntarily, but also with what we call happiness. He enjoys doing service. That is very important. Swadu Swatu. Swadu is sweet. English SWEET. Sanskrit is SVAADU. almost similar in pronunciation. Swadutvat, so because it is delectable. The service to the Lord is delectable, enjoyable. The taste is very good. As you go on doing service to the Lord, you develop a taste. Then Kshanikasya. Now the 100 years of human life, when we live the full life, that is looks like a single moment. Kshanikasya. Though we have been doing a lot of service for long years, as soon as there is the opportunity of serving the Lord stops, then we feel very bad. Therefore, Kshanikasya. Then we'll understand the word Kshanikasya later, little later. I think I have told you once. There are two lovers, boy and a girl. And when the boy and the girl are together, they spend 1 year together, and then they feel very happy. But the 1 year, 365 days, pass like a month, 130 days. When they are separated from each other, because they love each other, when they are separated by force, by parents, by circumstances, by some activity, normal activities. When they are separated for 1 month, it looks like 1 year. 30 days is equal to 365 days. How come? The Sanskrit word is very, very beautiful. Masa sama sama. Masa sama sama. Sama masaha masaha. These are the beautiful. So sama in Sanskrit means year. Y-E-A-R. Sama. Samaha also meaning also all of us know equal. Masa sama sama. 1 month is equal to 1 year. Sorry. 1 month is equal to 1 year. Masa samaha sama. A year is equal to 1 month. That's the beauty in particular Rubari. Here we take to this one. So Kshanikasya, then the next word says Kalantara bhavi phala sadhanatva anupapatti darshana. So it is our problem. It is our problem. What problem? When do we get the vision of the Lord? Our longing, our yearning, Y-E-A-R-I-N-I-N, yearning to have a vision of the Lord. We expect some other time, not immediately. We are not artha prapannas. We are not in a hurry to surrender to the Lord and expect the vision of the Lord immediately. We are not artha prapannas. We are not suffering. Therefore, we say we can delay. Vedanta Deshika says, don't commit suicide if you want to have moksha. Wait for the entire life to stop. You go through the span of life. Kalantara bhavi. It's a future incident. The vision will occur. Bhavi, it will happen. Bhavi is future. Kalantara bhavi, it will happen at some other time, not immediately. Kalantara bhavi. So what is that? That is the phalam, that is the fruit. So what will happen as a fruit? Namely the vision of the Lord. When will it happen? We do not know. When will it happen? At a different time. This birth or next birth? Of course, the Shiva Vaishnava Sampradaya, Deshika Sampradaya will say we get moksha immediately after this human life. The phala, we are ready to get the fruit. We are ready to enjoy the advantage. Then what is the means? Sadhanatvam. How do you achieve that phalam? That is what we have been practicing. Karma, jnana, bhakti, prapatti. And who is the sadhanam here? Lord, Sriman Narayana is the sadhanam. So sadhanatvam. But anubhavati darshanatvam. There is something happening to prevent us from the vision. There is something untoward happens. Something disconnected happens. Delinked happens. Anubhavati. We are not able to achieve it immediately. We are not able to believe also. We are in a hurry, but we are not very much hurry, but we have a longing. When we achieve when we have to achieve the vision of the Lord, there is something happens. What that something is, I guess it is papam and punyam. The demerits and the merits of our actions remain as the obstacle to the emancipation. Pratibandhakam. Pratibandhakam is the obstacle. Namely, for the punyam also. Your punyam, good actions, results, namely merit of your good deeds, also stop you from the vision of the Lord. We have to, that means, there, not only sattvika tyaga, but also feel that I need not get that punyam out of my activity. So that is what we call Sarva Dharman Pariti. We are going to Sarva Dharman Pariti. Slowly, Sarva Dharman Pariti. That means Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam. Tyagaha. We sacrifice the fruit of our act. We are not sacrificing the action. I remind ourselves. So, Anubhav Darshana. Then, Na Asya Swa Vyapare. Na Asya can be also separated beautifully as Na Asya. Na. A man, Asya of this. The Na Asya of this man, no of this. Na Asya. Swa Vyapare. Now we are talking about Mukta Vyapara. Already in the previous line, Mukta Vyapara. Namely, the activity of the released soul. So what does he do? Swayam by himself encourages himself and takes to the service of the Lord, and therefore Swavyapare, in his own activity, Swavyapare. What normally we do in this life is, all of us will have business towards the Lord. I will give you this, you will give me this, that. We have a contract. We have what we call Samayaha. Samayaha meaning agreement. Samayaha in Sanskrit also means time, as you know. Samayaha meaning time. So Samayaha is agreement, contract. The mutual contract is, I will offer you this and you will help me with that. So here, so Swavyapare, so in one's own business activity, so Mokshopayata Buddhihi Apisya. And we will never give up that thought, namely Mokshopayata, Buddhihi, our thought, intellect, Api, Syat. The word Eva, now we come to the word Eva. So Upayatam Parityajya, last quarter of the verse, namely, you have to worship the Lord. Harim Dhyayet, in that way. So Mokshopayata Buddhihi Api Syatiti Bhava. Even as a released soul, we think that the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Prapatti Yoga practiced there in as a Vaikunthavasi, as a resident of Vaikuntha, will always give the fruit, Mokshopayata. So though we are in moksha, though we may be in moksha, that we will think that mokshopayata is also, that means we have another thing is there. We have fear. Though we enjoy the divine experience there, we have a fear that we will come back. We will be pushed down to this world and we will be born again. So that fear lurks there. Lurks. The fear lurks in our mind. And therefore, we still want to continue to enjoy the moksha. So by doing service to the Lord, doing service to the Lord, last word that we had is, as Keshavdas Swami and all of us along with him enjoyed the Charama Shloka in the last but one verse earlier, Abhihi. Abhihi was equivalent to Ma Suchaha. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Swami.
Because some name appears, name of the members appears. So, Tam Abhihi, Nastye Devetu Tam Abhihi, Upayatam Parityaja. That's what we are now discussing. So, Abhihi, though we are without fear, though we are advised to be without fear, we are advised to be without fear. Fearlessness should be our quality, but in spite of it, we will have some what we call apprehension. Apprehension. That apprehension is what we call mokshopayata buddhihi api syaditi bhava. Whatever the Shastra says, whatever the scriptures say, whatever the Smriti, Dharma Shastra, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all the works say about moksha, we will still believe that I have done the prapatti, therefore I have my activity is called mokshopaya. The selfishness, the core of selfishness, CORE, the core of selfishness goes on continuing in our mind, that whatever we perform so far and whatever we are performing, whatever we are going to perform, all these will involve mokshopaya. The beautiful statement by Vanavala Mamuni's attitude written by Devaraja Guru, called Erambiyappa. Erambiyappa, I think Keshavdas Swami is very much knowing who is Erambiyappa. So Erambiyappa is I think Doddayacharya's connected person. He wrote two works. He called Devaraja Guru. He wrote two works as far as my knowledge, today's knowledge goes. Purva Dhanacharya and Uttara Dhanacharya. In Uttara Dhanacharya, there are 13 verses. So out of these 13 verses, he says, I think I told you the Tamil equivalent also, from Tiruchanda Vrittam. Tiruchanda Vrittam, the 101st line. நான் நினைப்பதாக நீ நினைக்க வேண்டுமே. நான் நினைப்பதாக நீ நினைக்க வேண்டுமே. You must, oh Lord, Sriman Narayana, you must think that whatever thought I have in my mind is directed towards you. That should be. So he said, Yaya Cheta. Yaya Cheta. Whatever activity I do, Archanam Te. That is your worship. That is the worship directed towards you. Whatever I think, Yaya Chinta. Whatever thought that I have, that means I am doing dhyanam towards you. I am doing the meditation towards you. Whatever activity I do, it is what we call aradhanam. here he says beautifully the verse. You can take, you can see the, I think it should be number 9 of the 13, the big verse which tells you. So, Manavada Mamuni's attitude towards the, so whatever I do should become the worship of the Lord. I will do anything. I will not concentrate on doing only service to the Lord, but whatever I do should be considered by the Lord sympathetically as the worship of the Lord. And therefore, so we have this much here. Bhavaha, mokshopayata buddhiya, apisyati bhava. Even though we are advised to be without the mokshopayata buddhi. Even this, I told you in the beginning of today's session, prapatti, otherwise called bharanyasa in Deshika Sampradaya, both are synonymous. Though we transfer or entrust the burden of both the merits and demerits, merits and sins towards the preceptor, to the preceptor. It's called Bharanyasa or Prapatti. So the Prapatti, though it is to be done for the sake of Prapatti, though we enjoy doing Prapatti, though we understand that we must do Prapatti, though we do not stop from committing bad deeds after Prapatti. So with all this, you have to satisfy yourself, be happy with yourself that Prapatti will give us whatever we want as required by us by the blessings of the Lord, by the grace of the Lord, and therefore by the affection of the Lord. So again, it all involves all the aspects of total surrender, namely Rakshishyati iti Mahavishwasa. We believe him, we have full faith in him. So when we do Prapatti, we don't ask for anything else. We don't ask for any other fruit, any other advantage in Prapatti. Prapatti is an end in itself. And he will, how does he do that? How does the Lord treat our request? It is said that Kesavadas Swami's good deeds will go to me, will come to me. Because you have encouraged some members like me to read the Gitartha Sangraha and Gitartha Sangraha Raksha. I take this as an example, good example. So I get merits. I get the benefit of reading through Gitartha Sangraha without the help of not without the help of Kesavadas. Because he has helped me to read through, we are going through. Otherwise, I'll spend time usefully or waste the time. Yatiraja Vimshati of Manavada Mamuni says, Kalam Nayami. Kalam Nayami. Don't say I spend time, I kill time. Kalam Nayami. He says Kalam Nayami. Yatiraja Tatosmi Murkha. I am a fool, I am an idiot. Kalam Nayami Yatiraja Tataha Asmi Murkha. Then he defines what is Tataha. After this I become a fool. After what? Meaning, Tava Apriyakaraha Priyakrit Vati Eva. Though I do intentionally, wantonly, something unwanted by Sri Ramanujacharya, I do something which is not dear to, which is not liked by him. Tava apriyakaraha. He is addressing directly Ramanujacharya. So Tava, you are apriyakaraha. I am doing something which is not liked by you. Apriyakaraha. But again, I act as though I'm a good actor. So I am acting as though I am feeling as though that I am doing something dear to you. Priyakritu vat eva. Priyakritu vat eva. That means what you call I betray myself. I am a hypocrite. I am doing something which you don't like, but I think that I am doing something which you like. Priyakritu, apriyakaraha api priyakritu vadeva. Then he says, ha hanta hanta. Alas, ayyo, manasa kriyaya vacha trividha apacharan krutva. I do 3 mistakes. Satatam, always. I repeat those mistakes. Satatam, always, ever. What kind of 3 mistakes? Manasa, by mind, by thought. Vacha and kriyaya. Manasa, kriyaya, vacha. Satatam, trividha apacharan kurvan. I am doing 3 kinds of apachara. Then now I can classify those 3 apacharas as Bhagavad apachara, Bhagavat apachara, and Swa apachara. You cheat yourself, you do harm to yourself, you insult a Bhagavata, a devotee of the Lord, then you insinuate the Lord also. Bhagavat apachara, Bhagavat apachara, Swa apachara, Trividha apachara, 3 types of mistakes. And therefore, tataha asmi murta. So he says, kalam nayam. So trividha apacharam krutva kalam nayam. I am spending my time by doing all these 3 mistakes. I think of something, I do something else, I talk till something else. So this is of course Naichanusandhanam, self-abnegation, lowering one's own status to say that I am not a very great person. So why is it? So example of the study of the Gitartha Sangraha and the Gitartha Sangraha Raksha, of course, though arranged by the Lord, we say that so and so, Yashoda Swami, and supported by other members, Malini Madam, Govindacharya Swami, and Santa Madam. We have been able to go through. We have been able to understand the ideas. This is what we call Vedanta Vichara. Vedanta Vichara. Discussion on the principles of the law. I will take up the meaning of the Pranava, say A and Ma, and then meaning of Namaha, and then Narayanaya, the next set, which he made more elaborate explanation, gave more. I also think a little diffident about my English rendering.
Oh, yeah. It is wonderful. So many, for each word you give different meanings, different words. I think your English is fantastic, Swami. Oh my God. Oh,
Thank you for your review.
No, I've been thinking of this even now. Actually, before you said this, my Swami says in one word, in Sanskrit word has got so many different meanings. In English words, my Lord. Your vocabulary is fantastic.
we're also learning a lot of English words from you, Swami.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also learning English from you.
Really, really great. It comes like water.
The advantage of studying Sanskrit is to learn more English.
So, Swami, can we ask some questions?
Yeah, yes. That's
Okay. So, you were saying about property. When we do property, should we be asking for moksha?
That's what our initial desire.
So when we actually do the property, when we go for the Bharanyasam or when we go for the Samashrinam, we should be praying for moksha.
So the problem is we have not studied Ragasya Traisara of Swami Vedanta Vidika before we go to property. Therefore,
Nobody will teach us before Samashrinam. Nobody will teach us.
so Samashrayanam, after Samashrayanam, one can learn.
Right, but before see for Tenacharya Sampradaya, Samashrinam is the property. So before,
right.
before doing this.
After Samashrayanam can be done in the young age. And Prapatti, generally now we are all doing it in old age. Immediately after Samashrayanam, one can learn many books. I'm just quoting an example of Srimad Ragasya Traisara, but you can go through any Prapatti Shastra, Sharanagati Shastra.
Right. So there are these property shastrams are normally called Rahasya Granthas because they have to do with the mantras which we get mantropadesha of in Samashrinam. So
Right.
normally the teachers will not teach people unless they have had mantropadesham first. You should have mantropadesham first, and afterwards then you can learn the meaning, the mantrartha. Even Ramanujacharya, he had the Samashrinam from Perinambi. Later on, he went to Gosti Purna to get the mantrartha. So that's a normal system. But my question.
The point is, we are not approaching the preceptors in the right time. That is not earlier. And again, we will all ascribe this delay to the Lord. He has not made us go. He has not made us go to the preceptor. That's what we'll blame the Lord. At the age of 60, I am learning Sanskrit. At the age of 60, I am learning any book on property. Then that is without the basic knowledge of property, we go and surrender to the preceptor. And that is why so we had no intention to study earlier. That is our problem. It is not. It's not our problem. I mean, you say you go for moksha by prapatti. No. So we understand later that we are not doing prapatti for moksha. Slowly we go on improving our knowledge.
Right. Okay. But my question is, okay, so for a Sri Vaishnava, doing the property is the first step. Doing the property is the first step. The first and the primary step, he has to do property. That is the initial upaya. That is, but after property, the Lord becomes the upaya, the main upaya. So the thing is, my question is though, in Tenacharya Sampradaya and in Deshika Sampradaya, property is considered to be the Bharanyasa. So Bharanyasa, to me, I've seen many followers of Deshika Sampradaya, they're doing Bharanyasa in very late age, 60 or older. So if it is the most important thing, if it is the primary thing, if it is the initial thing that has to be done, why leave it till late age? Why do people leave it so late? Because for Tenacharya Sampradaya, we say the property should be done at the Samashrinam itself. So it is done in an early age. Just after Upanayanam, they do it. So Upanayanam can be 7 or 8 years old. Then immediately after that, they do the Samashrinam, which they consider to be the property. So for me, that if something is important, if something is very important and something is initial, it should be done immediately. Should not be put off.
We have not been made to realize that because there are two preconditions for prapatti. Number one, don't go to any other devata, devatantara gamanam. Number two is don't take food outside. So these two prevent us from having prapatti earlier.
Okay,
At the age of
so speaking as a foreigner, I never had in my youth, and I never had the idea to worship other gods, because nobody ever told me there were other gods. Before coming to Hinduism, I had no idea there were so many gods. So I had no idea to worship other gods. My idea was always there must be only one God. If there is a God, there is only one God. Was always my idea. So I never had this idea of worshiping other gods. And as far as taking food outside, why somebody can't take, if you have to take food in the house, why can't somebody take food in the house from a very young age? Anantana Simachari told me he was always taking food in the house, even when he was working at his Sheshadri Institute. So he didn't wait until last to take the food inside. So I don't see why if it's so important, why can't people do it in a young age?
See, ANC did not take food outside. That's what you mean, no? Yeah. And that is because of his steadfast adherence to the rules. There are 2 points. One is we are afraid of our health being affected by long time fasting, and then getting some problems out of taking food outside. There are 2 points about that. So when we strictly follow the guidelines of what you call hygienic food, ahara niyama, then there we have a fear that we will get ulcer from long time fasting, stomach ulcer.
So,
and then,
all the members of Deshika Sampradaya, after doing Varanyasam, they're following all the rules of Ahara Niyama and in the house.
Should do it.
But are they doing it? My question is, if they're not doing it after Varanyas, why not do it? Why they cannot do it also and do Varanyasa earlier?
For example, I mean, I did it after my retirement. After 60 only, I approached the preceptor and suppose you invite your wife also to that. Only when she agrees to join you, then some couples go. Some couples go only when 2 partners are ready. And in the recent case, wife went earlier to 45th Arishingher and had Baranyas. The husband, at the age of 87, went to the present preceptor. The earlier wife went to the earlier preceptor, 45, and the husband went to only the 46. So much delay in the gap of time. Now the problem is,
does it make any difference? Does it make any difference if the wife goes to the previous preceptor and any preceptor is acceptable?
No difference. No difference. The problem is our maturity, our maturity of thought. When we are not mature enough in thinking that we must have earlier the prapatti, we postpone it to the old age.
Right.
And
right. So
we must be given the inkling of that what you call maturity. Somebody would advise, and we will not take the advice also.
Right. Also, but my question is, for instance, in your case, you did Samashrayanam with the 44th year, 44th Aligir Singha. And then you did the property, the Baranyasam, with the 45th. right? In
Yeah.
the case that you were talking about, the husband and wife, they probably took both from the 44th or 45th, and then Samashrinam, and then afterwards they took the Baranyasa from, one took Baranyasam from 45 and one took Baranyasam from 46. What I heard before was, if you can please correct me, Mrs. Varadarajan said that she took Baranyasam from Rangapriya Swami. But I think she has taken Samashrinam from somebody else before. So I have no problem with people taking different things from different people. But is it important? Is it good to take both Samashrinam and Baranyasam from the same person? Or is it obviously it's acceptable to take from different people? But my question is, who is the important guru? Who is the most important guru? The one you do the Baranyasa or the one you do the Samashrinam from? Because in Tenacharya Sampradaya, the most important guru is the one who gives us the Akshara mantra at Samashrinam. That is, in Ramanuja's time, we know Periyanambi is considered his Diksha guru, his Samashrinam guru, his Mantra Upadesha guru is Periyanambi. If people say who is the main guru of Ramanuja, it's Periyanambi. But he had other gurus, he had Shiksha gurus. So is the Baranyasa guru a Shiksha guru, or is the Baranyasa guru the most important guru for Deshika Sampradaya, and the Samashrayana guru is not so important? Or are they equally important? Or is the Samashrayana guru more important because he gives mantra upadesh? That's my question.
Yeah. Number one, the answer is immediate answer is equally important. But again, we also have, for example, I did it from 44, Samashrayanam from 44, Baranyasam in 45, from 45. 46, the next preceptor has come, 46th preceptor has come. So do we disrespect him or do we have less respect towards the 46? Because I have done with Samasranam on 44 and Baranyasa with 45. Then should we? So the whole parampara must be equally important. It is from Adivan Shatagopa. Adivan Shatagopa GS, then till 46 is very. Even another 47 comes, 48 comes. They are also equally important. Whether they have done me Samasranam or not.
So we have basically the guru is one. In one parampara, the guru is considered to be one, and all representations of in that parampara, they're all equally. Then my question comes with Mrs. Varadarajan. I don't know if she took in the line of Ranga Samashrayanam in the line of Rangapriya, but she had taken Baranyasam from Rangapriya Swami. So if somebody, is possible for somebody to take the Samashrayanam in one matam or in one lineage, one parampara, and in another matam doing the Baranyasa. Is it possible? And then they respect both?
Not only it is possible, it may be necessary also. When you are a Swayamacharya, when your family belongs to Swayamacharya Sampradaya, the eldest of your family should have been your Acharya, either Samasranam or Baranyasa or both. But when you don't have a perfect elder, qualified elder to do Baranyasa or Samasranam, then we go to some other matam, Ahobila matam or Andavan. And there is nothing wrong in choosing a new preceptor. And the only thing is the Taniyans of all the preceptors are, for example, we have 46 so far. So all the 46 Taniyans must be recited. You don't have time, we say 38. My grandfather had his Baranya Samasranam from 43, 42. Then he had his Baranyasam in 44, from 44 on. He had to miss 43. Whereas my father had Samasranam under 43 and then Baranyasam in under 44. You know, me. Then so the whole my generation has been going through this process from various preceptors. Therefore, who will be respected more? My grandfather's Samasena Acharya or Baranyasa Acharya? Everybody is important, equally important. And unfortunately, there are people who have shifted their rather faith to other mathas, other mathadhipatis. And sometimes we can also make a mockery because the other preceptor is available. When the other preceptor is available, then from Andavan Matham you come to Agobila Matham, or from Agobila Matham you go to Andavan Matham. Then there is something strange and not to be done.
So what I'm understanding is that just as there is a Guru Parampara, there is also a Shishya Parampara, and the Shishyas the Shishyas and the children in a family, if they are aligned with the Hobalam Matam or Andavan Matam or Pondarika Puram Andavan Matam, they should strive to take shelter in that Matam, because the Shistachar of their family will be according to the precepts of that lineage. But in case somebody has faith and he goes to if he is born in a family that normally takes from Hobalam Matam but has faith in Andavan, and he goes to Srimad Andavan and he does the Samashrayanam or he does the Baranyasa there, then at that time he should be doing or if he has Samashrayanam from one and Baranyasam from another, he has to do the Taniyans of all of them.
Right.
And even if in the case of Ramanuja, when Ramanuja had 6 gurus, he had Tirukachi Nambi and Periya Nambi and Gosti Purna and Kanchi Purna, all these different people he had gurus. We have to pray when we do Guru Parampara Anusandanam, we have to pray the Taniyans of all of them.
Right.
So it's going to take a long time to do those Taniyans. I'm just saying. Okay.
That's why I said 46 Taniyans a day will consume all my time.
Right.
But as you said, I have a friend who has changed his colors, mainly from Ahobila Matam, he went to Andavan Matam.
Okay.
And
right.
I feel, I have not said to him openly, his son is not getting married. He is now 36 and he has no hope of getting married. I would say that will be a punishment to him. And even
for switching months. You think it's a punishment for switching the month? Yeah. For his father switching months.
Right.
I see. Okay.
That's what I attribute. And though what you call the prarabdha,
so you feel that Shishya Parampara is also very important.
Right.
Okay. So that's fine. And, I also know from my friend TVS Butler, Parasara Butler, TVS Butler, he also told that his father and himself, they have many villages of people who take Samashrayanam only from them. So even the whole village will be dedicated to one matam. I'm sure Ahobilam, the people in Ahobilam, they all are taking Samashrayanam only from Ahobilam matam. So, but okay. So my question about the Baranyasam and why people do it very late, that was a very good answer. But then you also said that Baranyasam property is done only one time. Property is done only one time. So then if we do in Deshika Sampradaya, that is the Baranyasam. So after Baranyasam, you say if you do any mistakes, you have to do Prayaschita property. But that is not a real property. That is not for moksha. I see. So property for moksha is done one time, but
Yeah.
property for papa.
Yeah.
After property, if we do any sin or any punya even, we have to do again prayaschitta property, but it is not the main property being done again. It is a different thing. So actually, when you say prayaschitta property, it is papa and punya property after.
You cannot add punya because we have an understanding of the sattvika tyaga and phala tyaga is there. So we are not going to ask for accruing the merits. Therefore, we dismiss the merits. We don't want the merits. Whereas papam, even if you don't want them, it will accrue to you.
Okay, so I see. So after we do Bharanyasa, but even before we do Bharanyasa, we should be doing the Sattvika Tyaga. And the Sattvika Tyaga ensures that we don't get any merits. But still, sometimes we do some sins, so we do get those attached to us. So during the life, before the Bharanyasa, those get deposited with the Acharya at the time of Bharanyasam. But after Bharanyasam, if we again sin, we have to do the prayaschitta property to get rid of those sins only. I understand. Okay. So now you also said that whatever you do as service, whatever you do, you should think it is a service to God. So my question is, whenever we do something good, we should think it is a service to God, even if it is not a ritual. But at the same time, there are many things that we do which may be sinful in some way. There might be some sin attached to them. Even living in this world, drinking water, sweeping the floor, these things can be considered as sin somehow. So even when we do a sin, is it service to God?
It should be considered by the God as service. That's what we pray to.
So if somehow or other we do a sin, right? We do a sin, intentional sin or unintentional sin.
We request him to convert that sin to either merit or dismiss the sin.
Could convert the sin into a punya.
If at all.
So
or what you call delete the sins.
Okay, so is there a difference between unintentional sin and intentional sin? If
Right.
my mistake, I walk in my garden and I kill an ant, I kill a living being, I have committed himsa, I have killed something, but unintentionally I stepped in on the cockroach and it died. That is unintentional. But if I go out and I intentionally commit some sin of intoxication or some other thing like this intentionally, is there a difference between that type of sin or the other type of sin?
The gravity of the intentional or unintentional sin is the same.
The gravity is the same. The gravity is the same.
Yeah.
But in Sanskrit there are mahapatikas and there are upapatikas. Pancha mahapatikas.
Yeah.
There are 5 great sins and there are some other minor sins. Like if I do Gayatri Japam standing in the Sayam Sandhya, this is a sin. I should be sitting down during Gayatri Japam in the night. This is a very small sin. This is not a big sin. But if I kill my guru, or if I kill some human being, I kill a Brahmin, kill a cow, this is a mahapatika. This is a great sin. So you're saying the sin, all these sins are on the same level? They're all equal for Vaishnavas, but for non-Vaishnavas they're not the same level. But for Vaishnavas they're the same.
Prayaschitta prapatti is done for both washing of the intentional and unintentional. That's what. And they are the gravity the same is the prayaschitta prapatti is meant for washing away both sins.
Okay.
And intentional sin deserves more punishment. Intentional sin deserves more punishment.
Okay, but you just said that the gravity is the same. The gravity, if you say there was more, it deserves more punishment, it means the gravity is more, no?
I mean, I'm just saying the gravity in the meaning, what we call the seriousness of committing sins is the same.
I see. So if I accidentally kill somebody, and I kill somebody on purpose with intention, the result is the same. The person is dead. So the gravity is the same. But a person who purposely kills somebody deserves more punishment than a person who accidentally killed. We call it premeditated murder for the person who's intentionally doing it, and we call it manslaughter only, and it gets a lesser jail term. I understand. Okay, thank you very much. No, I'm just trying to understand, because if everything, even if we do something wrong, if it is converted into if we can pray for it to be converted into a punya, or converted by the Lord into a good thing, then why do we have to do prayaschitta for it? Why don't we just pray that okay, I killed somebody, please Lord, please forgive me, and turn that into a punya? And is that itself the prayaschitta? To pray to the Lord to convert it?
Prayaschitta prapatti is rectifying or remedying. They're doing a remedy for what we call expiation for the sin.
Okay, so in the Christian religion, especially the Catholics, they have a system where they maybe they do some intentional or unintentional sins. Every week they go to the church and they tell the sins.
Confession.
They admit the sins to the priest, and the priest says absolution. He gives them the freedom from that sin, from the reaction. So prayaschitta prapatti is like that. We have to admit the sin, we have to realize the sin, and we have to pray for God to turn the sin into something good. And so each time, but we may, so we should do this periodically after Barnyas.
Not periodically.
If we do Barnyasa at 60, when is the time we should do the prayaschitta prapatti? After every year we should do it, like upakarma, or we should do it after 5 years or 10 years, or just when we feel like it.
When we feel that we are approaching the end.
I see. So okay, so really what in the Christian religion, they have something called last rites. The priest comes when the man is dying, and he says, okay, I absolve you of all your sins at the deathbed. Antima Shmiti. He tells him, you get absolved now. And then the person dies. So the prayaschitta prapatti should only be done when somebody feels they're going to die. Is it?
Yeah.
Just like Adi Shankaracharya, when he felt that he was going to be killed by the crocodile in young age, he took sannyasa. He decided to take sannyasa because he thought his next moment he's going to die. Then he was saved.
That was only a truth to make the mother permit him.
That was a trick to get his mother to permit him to take sannyas. Okay. So Govinachar is asking.
Yeah, I just saw his.
Yeah, is there any ritual for Baranyasa? But I think you described this before. You just go to the Acharya and say you want to do the Baranyasa, and he tells you to not do any Bhagavata apacharas, not to worship any Anya Devatas, and to take Sattvic Ahara. And he tells you all those things, and you say, okay, I'll do all those things, and that is the Baranyasa, right? There's no other ceremony.
Yeah, no. The earlier day, you have to go and request him that will you give me the prapatti advice tomorrow? And you ask him on the previous day. That is number one. So in the morning of the second day, that is the next day, we'll go after taking bath and wearing all the marks on the forehead and marks. Then I think
Swarupam,
Govindacharya
wearing
is,
Swarupam.
yeah, Govindacharya is listening. Okay.
He's listening.
So,
He's listening.
so we go to the an assistant of the preceptor. The assistant helps us to do sankalpa, and everyone is being asked a special aspect. I don't know why this condition, the what we call the sarvanga ksauram must be done by the generally a grihastha, a married man, a householder should always have kapapi shave, head to foot shave. That should be done by a barber only, not your self shaving. A brahmachari also cannot have self shave. Brahmachari should have it only on the face, the beard and the head or the tuft, and the householder should do it the total body. And then he was asking, and the assistant was asking, are you doing this so far? What do you call sarvangam by barber? Then what do you say? You say yes. You say yes. Have you been doing? Yes, yes. Will you do? Yes. Never say no.
You have to, but you have to keep doing it after Baranyasam?
Yeah.
You have to keep doing sarvanga shaving.
Have it done. Have it done.
How many? You have to do it occasionally every 3
every
months.
Every time you feel that you have a lot of beard and.
But after Baranyasam, it's a must to do sarvanga shaving.
No, the sarvangam is a general rule for the whole life.
Except for brahmachari. Except you're saying for brahmacharis, no.
Yeah.
For the whole of grihastha life.
Face shave.
So
but face shave must be done.
So the grihastas are doing
must
sarvangam.
Be done by the barber.
Yeah, I know. The grihastas are doing sarvangam, and the vanaprasthas and sannyasis are also doing sarvangam.
Yeah.
So only the brahmacharis are except for sarvangam.
Right.
And the ladies also don't do sarvangam.
Yeah, they do it when they become window minors. Yeah.
When they become widows.
Yeah.
Right. They do also sarvangam.
Yeah.
They also shave.
Sarvangam. Sorry, not sarvangam. Only head.
Only head. But the ladies who become widows, they're supposed to shave the head also. But in Tenacharya Sampradaya, we don't make the widows shave the head. And also nowadays, even Deshika Sampradaya nowadays.
That is the purpose. I told you the principle. The purpose of doing it is disfigure a woman, young widow. And of course, these days we will have her remarried. In those days, that was a punishment, and she will remain a widow all through her life. I've seen such people.
Okay, so the purpose of this originally was because people used to get married very early. So in case the husband dies when the lady is very young and beautiful, therefore they should shave the head so that nobody will be attracted to her, so she will not get married again. Okay, I understand that. Okay, this is all old social customs. Today we are not doing that. Yeah. Because we're living long time and people are not getting married even in young age. People are getting married much later, right?
Right? Not only that, even if the husband dies at any age, nobody is following that custom today.
Right. Okay. So, but we can say even a lady becomes a widow in older age, still that lady may be attractive to some older man, right? Yeah. It may, or even a younger man. I don't know. But even an older lady can be attractive. Okay. So, but still today we are not shaving the ladies' heads. Nobody is insisting on this. Right.
And again, they say it is atrocity to the women.
Yeah, I personally, I think it's an atrocity to the women, but I'm very glad Tenacharya Sampradaya doesn't do it.
And again, and there are some identification marks for the widow. The nose stud and the toe ring are
Right.
removed.
The toe ring has to be removed. Yes.
Removed. But
Yeah.
they
And
don't
also
wear flowers.
they take the mangalyam is removed too after so many days after the.
That is there. They don't wear the flowers on the head also in those days. But today, I mean, but many of us now are misled to believe that they should not have tilak on the forehead. They must have tilak on the forehead, kumkumam on the forehead, and they can wear ear stud also.
Okay.
Not a question of our permission given to the women.
Yeah.
But,
No. Okay. So I mean, I'm trying to understand. In those days, the idea was all these things which make a lady look more beautiful should be not done by the widows, and that makes then they won't be attracted to men, and men there won't be a second marriage. That's the whole point of those social customs. But today we don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter so much. It's not an important thing. Yeah, it was
today,
important in that society in medieval times. The society rules were a lot different. Yeah.
And today there's another thing happened. A lady who is working in a bank, she was a widow, and since many were asking, when did your husband die? When did your husband die? And so on. So she started wearing flowers also. In order that the questions, the embarrassing questions will not be repeated. How did he die? What disease did he have? And so on. She should not be reminded of the accident or something like that. So they wear flowers. They wear flowers today.
I think personally, it's very, my own feeling is why we should remind either the husband or the wife, if the partner has passed away, why we should continue to try to remind them of that. It's a very sad thing. Is there any restriction on a man? All these things in ancient societies were mostly male centric. So what are the restrictions on the grihasta if the wife dies? There must be some restrictions also.
He is not eligible to take a part of the food in as Brahmanartha in a Shraddha ceremony. As a widower, he cannot.
Widower. We say widower.
Yeah.
Vidura. A male widow.
Vidura. Vidura.
Widower.
Vidura. Vidura is widower.
Vidura was a widower. Okay.
No.
And now I have to say, amongst the archakas, this one of my gurus, M.R. Sampat Kumar Bhatta of Bangalore, he was a archaka, and his wife died before him, and he had gone one time. He went for a darshan of the Alagiya Singha, I think 45th Jir, and 45th Jir said, "No, you have to get out of here." He told him to leave the place because he said, your wife has died, but as an archaka, you have to remarry. You must have a wife as an archaka, as a pancharatrin. You must always have a wife, otherwise you cannot do the Agni Karya. You cannot do these things. So for archakas, they always have to be married. At least after they marry the first time, they have to always be married. Even if the wife dies, then they have to remarry. But that is not for other Sri Vaishnavas, only for the archakas, is it? That is a rule for them. And Vaikhanasins also? Maybe. We don't know.
There must be. The rules for priests is the same for them. Such rules are same.
But these are only this is a special rule for archakas.
Archakas.
Okay, so some different things. But see, he was not doing that. His wife died and he didn't feel like marrying again. And still he was performing many ceremonies I traveled with him for a long time, and he did many pratistas and many
Oh.
different ceremonies, but he never remarried. He never remarried. So even that rule sometimes people are not following it in this day and age.
I thought he was a Laukik scholar.
He was
I
a
didn't know that.
he was a Astana Vidvan, TTD Astana Vidvan, and he was the chief archaka in Tiruchanur, Padmavati Devasthanam.
Oh,
Yeah, and then he retired. He was also Ramayana scholar in
Upanyas.
Ramayana. Yeah, a lot of things. But he was the first one to go and do the Prana Pratishta in America, in Pittsburgh, Venkateshwara Temple in Pittsburgh. So I studied Pancharatra with him in Bangalore.
he knows English also.
Yeah, he knows English very well. He knew English very well. Yeah. So okay,
But generally, visiting a foreign country itself is prohibited.
but now we have so many priests and so many temples in foreign countries, right? So I think Govindachari was asking some other questions just to be quick to get back. He was also asking if these ISKCON people, that sometimes they have a restaurant. They have a restaurant and all the food is the prasadam. They cook very sattvic and they offer to God. Is it possible to eat there after doing Bharanyasa? I think what he's saying.
He has written, why is some
No, he's saying, this is the last thing he's writing
Sarva
about.
Papebhyo in Krishna Charama Shloka,
Yeah.
Taken to mean only the sins up to that point of prapatti and not all sins past, present, and future. Sarva Papebhyo means past sins, present sins, and future sins also. The rule of Prayaschitta Prapatti framed by the Sampradaya is only by the human being. The Lord doesn't demand that you should do Prayaschitta Prapatti. Nor, I think Prapatti is advised in every book, Bhagavad Gita and other books. But Prayaschitta Prapatti is only our own creation. Our own.
So we do the Prayaschitta Prapatti because we feel that we have sinned against God, and we feel that He should forgive us for those sins. But actually, when we do the Bharanyasam, He's already forgiven the past, present, and future sins. But we feel later on, we feel regret. We regret that we've made some sin, or we might have made some sin. So we do the Prayaschitta Prapatti. But it is our will and wish. It's our thought. So I understand. So it's not. There's no rule. There's no vidi in the scripture that says we have to do the Prayaschitta Prapatti. It is our mentality as prapanas. It's our bhava as prapanas that we feel we're always sinners. We feel that at every time we should do prapatti.
He says, then the stricture of not taking food from outside. Does this mean no food outside from anywhere, or say, for instance, you can eat.
Yeah, like for instance, we can say if
prasadam,
we go.
Prasadam of the Lord.
If they have it a hobalam mat, if they have a dadi aradhanam and they invite many people and they have a puja and they feed many people, it is not inside our house. The mat, can we take food at the mat? Can we take food at the temple, at the Ranganatha Swami temple,
or the home of another Vaishnava, yes.
or the home of a relative or another Vaishnava? Can we take food there?
It is not prohibited.
It's not prohibited.
Because it is sattvic food that you get it.
Is it sattvic food though? Even today we go to Ranganatha Swami temple and we get pulihodra.
Yeah.
We can buy pulihodra. We can also buy curd rice.
Right.
There is red chili in the pulihodra. There is green chili in the curd rice. There is no mention of chili in Ahara Niyama by Vedanta Deshika because chili did not exist in India at that time.
Nice.
Is it sattvic ahara? Is it actual prasadam or is it not actual prasadam?
The prasadam must be taken at any time. I mean, without any
Any rules?
without
Without
any
any
time.
rules.
Yeah. Number two, the chili which we use now is what we call karam, hot, or rather pungent. So that 6 days are necessary for our health. Karam is for our strength.
Okay, but actually in the temple, they never offer these things to Ranganatha.
Right.
They don't offer to Ranganatha.
Yeah.
So how is it, how can we consider, they mix it afterwards?
No, they will not mix it afterwards. They should not do it.
So,
They mix
okay,
it.
you have been to the temple. You have been to the temple in Sri Rangam. This is why Mr. Vasu's father, Krishnamachari, in Sri Vaishnav Sri, he doesn't consider that food cooked in the temple or sold in the temple, that food to be actual prasadam, because he says it is just like a canteen. It is not. It's not really prasadam because is only done for financial benefit of the temple.
Right.
But the real prasadam might be when you go on Parapada and they offer this salad, these sprouted lentils to Nam Perumal, and they give you some of those. Those things are very sattvic. So the things which are not sattvic, we can't accept them as prasadam. That's what he says. But
Right.
but the temple is selling this, and the stall the prasadams, the sign says Devastanam prasadams, Devastanam prasadams. So is it acceptable for prapanas, persons who have done baranyasa, to eat the Devastanam prasadams from that stall when they are mixed with so many things which are not offered to God, actually?
Right.
Is it
They
acceptable?
are not offered to, when they are not offered to God, not even, not a question of prapanna. Nobody should take it. Nobody should take it.
Okay, so it's just a business, and the temple is selling it, but it's just a business. So okay, but if we go
it's not a prasada. It's not a prasada.
But if I go to a Vaishnava's house, if I go to your house, you are using chili in your house, right? You're using the chili in your house, and you're offering to your salagrama.
No, that's why I said 6 days are necessary.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying in your house you're doing that. If I come to your house after I do baranyasam, if I come to your house, can I eat your food if you're using chili? As long as you offer everything to God, it's possible.
Okay.
So then my other question is, if those things are forbidden in the temple, but they're not forbidden in the house, what other things can we offer in the house which are not forbidden? What if somebody offers onion and garlic in the house, and he's a Vaishnava, and can I go and eat his food?
Number one, your question. Who said chili is forbidden in the temple?
I think chili is a foreign vegetable. Just like
many things are foreign now. Many have become Indian.
Have become Indian.
Yeah.
Things have become Indian.
The tomato, the potato.
Okay.
The beans.
But
all are grown.
So are these? But these things are not offered in the temple.
No, they have a particular item only, as you said, tamarind rice,
right?
Curd rice.
But those things are also not offered in the temple. The chili is not offered. It's mixed later. It has to be.
No, I must look at the Pancharatra Agama, what kind of food should be offered.
No, look
but
at
also
first.
That,
yeah, Ahara Niyama. By Ahara Niyama. Ahara Niyama.
Because Ahara Niyama of Vedanta Deshika may be irrelevant today.
Okay, good. That's very good that you say that, just like some other things are not relevant today. So if Ahara Niyama is not relevant today, then why is Ahara Niyama relevant for Baranyasa today?
No, no, ahara niyama meaning it is different from cooking some items of food which are forbidden. That means forbidden in the sense they have tamas and rajas nature. Whereas the ahara niyama for prapati is not to take any food outside. That is, if you go to ISKCON restaurant, then take food, that is good. That is okay.
That is okay. Okay, all right.
And if
So
you take it in a Vaishnava's house, but only this point is garlic. When the garlic and onion are used in a Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava's house, the question is whether you can take that because they are not sattvic food. If they are prepared in a Sri Vaishnava's house, you are not supposed to take.
right, because it's not sattvic. I understand. Okay, so
Even if they are offered to God. If they are offered to God.
Okay, so the question is that the people in ISKCON, right? The people in ISKCON, they're also Vaishnavas. They are cooking and they're offering to God. And if they cook sattvic ahara without garlic and onion, if they cook sattvic ahara and they offer it to God, then it is acceptable. It's sattvic ahara. It's sattvic food. It's prasadam also. But not only the ingredients make something sattvic, but also the person who cooks makes something sattvic.
Right.
So can we accept food like Ramanuja wanted to accept the food of Tirukachi Nambi, his uchista, right? Even we shouldn't take uchista anytime, but Ramanuja wanted to take the uchista of Tirukachi Nambi.
Because he is an acharya.
According to
guest,
Ramanuja, yeah.
A guest is an acharya. So, but the preparation was done, food preparation was done by his wife only.
Right. The food, okay, the food
and
preparation
again,
was done by
now the question is, according to Varnashrama Dharma, suppose I go to ISKCON restaurant and take food, that is not right because though it is sattvic in nature, though it is offered to God, it has been prepared by a non-Brahmin.
Right.
Therefore, I am not.
But I read in Rahasya Trayasaram. I have read Rahasya Trayasaram. In Rahasya Trayasaram, Vedanta Deshika says the Brahmins should be cooking, but in case the Brahmins can engage non-Brahmins for cooking, but they have to supervise them. So if a Brahmin is supervising a non-Brahmin cooking, that food is okay. That food can be taken.
Can you quote that?
Okay, I'll find it for you on Monday. I'll find you this quote. Okay, but right. Normally we only eat the food which is cooked by Brahmins. Even if we go to the wedding, if I go to the wedding, a Sri Vaishnava wedding, they will engage Brahmins to cook. So that's why everybody will eat that food at the wedding. But some people are very strict and they don't eat food at the wedding. Am I right?
There are people who avoid taking food at their own son's wedding, daughter's wedding.
Right.
They will not believe. And today, when we engage cooks, they don't do Sandhya Vandanam, though they are called Brahmins. And suddenly you put Ajnapavitam on a person and then bring him as a cook. And all of them are wearing shirts that we do not know whether they are Brahmins or not. So, good people, Orthodox people, Orthodox people, I won't say Prapanna, Orthodox people will never take food in the wedding.
Right. I also was reading about the food. We can go on about food a lot, but about the food that sometimes in a famine, there is no rice. There's not enough rice. So sometimes the people will offer, they have small amount of rice and they offer to God, but there's not enough rice to feed themselves. So they also cook ragi. They cook things like ragi and they eat that. But ragi normally should not be offered to God. According to, I don't know. I think that it may also be in Ahara Niyama. I'm not sure. But there's some some
No,
statement.
that's why I said the when you understand the item of food to be prepared as sattvic, then you can always do that. Need not follow Vedanta Deshika.
Okay, all right. So, okay.
And when
So,
you are, when you know perfectly well
my
when it is tamasic and rajasic,
right. But
whether it has been mentioned or not in Ahar Niyama of Vedanta Deshika, you have to avoid them.
Okay. So so if it's mentioned directly by him not to take it, we don't take it. But if it's not mentioned by him, maybe it can be accepted as being sattvic. Maybe. But we have to.
Then you have to decide about its nature.
Yeah, we have to decide about the certain foreign vegetables, like tomato, right? Okay, so or chili even. So then we have to look. Govindacharya is saying that the normal system for Sri Vaishnavas is they cook one time and offer in the Tiruvaradhanam the food, the Naivedyam. But then in the evening, they cook some more rice and they keep something is kept left over. And but they only cook once and offer once. Is it possible? Shouldn't we cook fresh? If we're going to take food in the night, should we not cook fresh food and offer to God again? Or not?
No, that's what I have been questioning ourselves. Namely, you do once Thiruvaradhanam a day. We don't do 2 Thiruvaradhanams a day.
Except in Dhanumasam. Except Dhanumasam.
Except?
Dhanurmasam.
Dhanurmasam, Abhigamanam and Ijja. Okay, that is different. The general rule is do once Thiruvaradhanam. Then every time the morning, say for example, breakfast, you will prepare a tiffin, then afternoon lunch, and then night dinner, something like that. So you go on preparing something and eating something. And my habit is as you do, offer whatever you before you eat, whatever you prepare for eating, before you eat, offer to God and take. Now,
Yat kurosi yadasnasi, yat jahosi dadasi yat tapasisi kontaya, tat kurushva madarpanam.
Now, the point is, without offering to God, we should not eat, number one. So, heat the leftover, we heat the warm the leftover of the morning, and then eating. When the leftover is eaten, you need not offer it to God, because we have already taken it.
But is it not uchista?
No, we are not to offer to God. No, the morning rice you have taken, out of 1 kilo, you have taken and consumed half a kilo. The rest of it, you should not offer it to God again, because you are reheating it.
Right. You make 1 kilo of rice, but at lunch, and you offer 1 kilo of rice in Tiruvaradhanam. And then you eat only, at lunch you only eat half kilo.
Right.
Then you have half kilo left over in the evening. Right. You mix with curd or you mix with tamarind and you make variety rice. Right. Okay? But you don't offer it again. But you can mix some spices. Those spices, that preparation, that curd rice or that tamarind rice was not actually offered to God. Was offered to God or not offered to God?
You do not offer to God. Because
the rice itself was offered. So you just add and you heat it.
Right.
You reheat the rice.
Right. And another aspect is when you bring the prasadam from the temple to the house. For example, curd rice. So generally, it should not be added with something, and then because there's no salt, so add some salt, pinch of salt. Then use pickle to take the curd rice. We are not. They say we are not supposed to do.
You're not supposed to add in the temple itself in Sri Rangam. They will give you uragai. They will give you pickle.
but that is not very nice.
That is not a good pickle. So you prefer the home pickle. So when you get curd rice from the temple, you reject their pickle, and you come home and you add your own salt and your own pickle, right?
But
And
that should not be done.
the pickle is considered sattvic ahara, even though the pickle is very old.
Yeah.
No,
Because initially you offer it to God.
what Swami
Yeah.
is saying is, even if you get it from the temple, because it has been offered to God, it may not have salt. You must enjoy it just as it was offered to God, with no pickles, no nothing, because that's the way it was offered to God.
I see.
You should not make modification to taste it for you, because God didn't taste it like that. So
I
that's
see.
the part.
I see. So Swami, you're saying that the prasadam from the temple should not be mixed with anything in the house. It should be taken as is.
Mixed in the sense you don't improve it.
You don't improve it to your taste.
Don't add it.
Yeah.
And then,
As is the-
But we take it along with the meal, or we have to take it separately.
you can
then along with the meat.
If we take it along with the meal, it is mixing in the mouth, no?
Yeah, that is why that becomes uchishta.
Why? Why is it
And,
uchista? If I have some curd rice from the temple on my plate, next to that I have some rice and sambar from my house. So I take one handful of rice and sambar, and I take some curd rice, and it mixes in my mouth.
The order is first sambar, then rasam, and then curd rice.
Okay, this is called South Indian food police. There's a certain order, and it must be adhered to. But if I go to a wedding and the people serving ask me, what would you like? My wife goes and she sits and she eats. Some. If you go to Karnataka, they'll give the rasam first. If you go to Tamil Nadu, they give the sambar first and then the rasam second. So I know there's different orders in different parts of India. Even the Gujaratis are eating sweets in the beginning. So there's so many different orders. My wife and I call this food police, that each state has got its own policing method, has got its own method of order. So in Sri Vaishnavism, is there a specific order for eating?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you cannot say, madam will not eat first curd rice, then rasam, then sambar. No. And
normally
if at all,
for
for example, if you take sambar first, then you have curd rice. Only sambar has been prepared by your wife. So second curd rice. You end the food with the curd rice. Then again you like some sambar. So add some sambar to the curd rice, that is okay. But again, after taking curd rice, you feel hungry. That means you not only feel hungry, you like that sambar very much. Therefore, again sambar rice. After curd rice, again sambar. I mean, I'm just giving an example. Otherwise, you have an order different. First you take sambar rice, then rasam rice, then again sambar rice, then again rasam rice, then again curd rice, again come back to sambar rice. I would also not subscribe to the view that if anyone eats curd rice with a lot of sambar, that becomes sambar rice.
personal taste.
so now this is the normal order: sambar, rasam, and curd.
No, this is the normal Tamil order. This is the Tamil order.
Tamil.
This is not the Karnataka order.
Tamil is the right order. Tamil order is the right order. And
according to Tamils, Tamil order is the right order.
Right.
But in Karnataka, they will give rasam first.
And then sambar.
Yeah.
No, I have not seen.
Go to Udupi. Udupi Madhvas they'll give first rasam, then sambar.
No, I have also not gone to Udupi, but it has not happened. First sambar, then only rasam.
Okay, Mrs. Varadarajan lived in Bangalore. She lived in Bangalore for sure. She knows. In Bangalore, are they giving rasam first or sambar first?
Never. I think we will not change the order.
I lived in Bangalore for 5 years. Rasam, sambar.
No, no, no. It's
In
never
Tamil
like
Nadu,
No, no.
sambar, rasam.
never,
No,
never
no, no. I think you have gone to a wrong restaurant.
wrong restaurant.
I think.
Okay, I'll check it up. I'll check. Maybe
Yeah.
Dr. Alwan knows because he lives in Melkode. It may be
Right.
it may be a different sampradaya. Maybe some
No,
sampradayas are different.
no. The point that I am trying to drive in is, suppose all of us have developed the habit of first eating curd rice, then rasam, and then sambar. The what you call the reverse order. In the reverse order, the bad effect is cancer. Please remember that.
If I
How
eat
do
in
you know?
if I eat in the
How do
wrong
you know?
order, the bad effect is canceled.
Cancer.
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 Yeah.
Because the global
Okay. All right. I'm going to chalk that one up to old wives' tales. I don't believe it. So if you have some scientific evidence that cancer is produced by eating rasam before sambar, right? Then you can please post it. I don't.
not rasam, yogurt. Swami is talking about first.
Yogurt. Yeah.
Yogurt
Eat-
can
eat-
react with acidity. Of the,
Okay, so those people who eat yogurt before they eat their sambar are going to get cancer, according to
not
you.
everybody. The chances are more. He's saying.
The
The
chances are
chances
more.
are more.
And not everybody will get it. It's just
Getting
it, it can trigger
The
some
chances are more.
just in the stomach. It can trigger
Right.
something in the stomach.
I also read in when I was studying from ANC, we also read one statement in Yatindramana Deepika in the commentary. It said, if my wife eats spinach, she's going to have a black baby.
No,
So I also read this, but I don't believe it.
no, that is an extreme example. That doesn't match at all here. It's
I think this
No,
is
when-
also very extreme, saying that
when
if I eat
when do you-
curds
when do you
before
get a-
sambar, I'm
when do
going
you
to
get
get
a black? When do you get a black baby?
Yogurt is very important.
no. The example he gave was there was some mention. There was an example. It was an analogy. It was not. I don't take it as I don't take it as a medical fact.
No. What did he say?
I said, my wife and I laughed when we heard this, and we said we don't believe it. We can't believe it. There's
No. What did you? What didn't?
And he said it's an analogy. It's an analogy.
No. What was the sentence?
So when you say somebody is more likely to get cancer for by eating curd before sambar, then my answer to that is you are trying to scare children by this story. This is not a true scientific medical fact. If you can show scientific medical fact, if you can show statistics to me about this, then I will accept it. Otherwise, I don't accept medical instruction for somebody who is not a doctor. That is my feeling. That's my only feeling.
I was asking you about the ANC statement.
Yeah, ANC. He agreed that it was silly to say that a Caucasian lady is going to have a black baby. Caucasian lady is never going to have a black baby unless the father of the baby is a black man. That is genetically impossible. Right? So by eating spinach, her baby is not going to be born black. It's not possible.
By eating? By eating?
Spinach.
Oh.
Spinach.
Spinach. Oh.
Yeah. This was the analogy given. So the thing is, when I read some things like this, when people tell me, try to scare me into not eating curd rice before sambar, right? By telling me
it's not a question of scaring or it's only a guess.
But if a doctor tells me you should not do this, right? He has some medical training, he has some medical knowledge. But if somebody just tells me who has no medical training or no medical knowledge not to eat curd rice before sambar,
but
it doesn't mean, to me it's hearsay.
Right.
He's just trying to somebody's just trying to scare me.
No doctor learns this kind of idea. I mean, entertained this idea in his medical history. The
Okay.
medical, what you call,
All right. My point is like this. My point is very simple. We have pramanas. Pramanas are pratyaksha, anumana, shabda. By pratyaksha, if you can show me by pratyaksha and anumana that cancer is more likely if you eat some curd rice before sambar, I'll accept it. If you show me in Shastra, if it says you should, if you eat curd rice before sambar, you're more likely to get cancer, then I will take it as being simply only it's a recommendation. Don't eat like this.
No, I'll give you a parallel. I told you, many ladies are asking anybody this question. Why don't they learn scriptures? We say
Okay,
it
we came
affects
to
their
this again.
uterus.
Okay.
It affects the uterus. And then you say you are.
Show me the proof.
That's right. They asked me to show the proof.
Right.
Then I said you try on your daughter.
But there are ladies in North India, there are ladies all over the world who are chanting Omkara, who are chanting Omkar. Omkar is pranava. It's part of the Vedas. It's the essence of the Vedas. There is yoga. There are yoga teachers all over the world who are teaching Omkara meditation.
No, that's why I said I'm not talking about a single syllable that we say pranava, the Omkara, as a root cause for some health issues. The whole scripture with a lot of accents.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Omkara meditation by yoga teachers.
Krishna Yoga Mandiram in Chennai is teaching foreigners to chant Vedic mantras, men and women, right? They put out the CD. Their Lady Acharya is chanting Vedas. Krishna Yoga Mandiram was started by Deshikachar. He is a Vadagalai Sri Vaishnava who is a son of T. Krishnamacharya, who was a great founder of yoga and was the master of Maharaja of Mysore in those days, right? These people are Vadagalai Sri Vaishnavas. They are teaching ladies to chant scriptures, and they also have lady acharyas teaching scriptures. None of them have cancer. None of them have affected uteruses. Okay? So this is pratyaksha. This is pratyaksha.
This is what you call wrong guess.
It's pratyaksha.
When you say
it is proved wrong by pratyaksha pramanam. By actually seeing the result, we see we think maybe that of course certain sections of society, like you said, the Brahmins, if everybody chants scriptures, everybody will be a Brahmin and everybody will be doing the work of a Brahmin. The Brahmins will be unemployed because everybody can do the same thing. So every class has got a possibility to do different things.
No, I understand that ladies are acharyas teaching scriptures, and ladies have been chanting scriptures by many organizations, not only Krishna Yoga Mandiram or anybody. But is there a study history or a medical history of analyzing the health of those ladies who have been chanting the scriptures?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
Did anybody look into that?
No. You're making a proposition. You are the Purva Pakshin. You are the Purva Pakshin. You are making the proposition that if a lady does this, the chances of her having a problem with her uterus or some health problem is more. You are making the proposition. You are the Purva Pakshin. Where is your pramana? Where is your pratyaksha pramana for that statement? If you have no proof of that, either pratyaksha proof of that, then why I should accept it?
No, you need not accept it. But was there a study of the health issues of the ladies who have been chanting scripture? Well, if there is no study,
there's no medical study, but there are examples of so many people doing it, and there's no example, there's no
health issue.
I've never seen any article in any journal saying, oh, the ladies who did this, many of them got cancer or many of them had a problem. I've never seen. So if there is no proof of something, then we cannot assert it. We cannot say something is correct because there is no proof of it. You can only say something is correct if you have proof of it. You cannot say something is correct, but we have no proof of it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No proof is not a proof. Is no proof a proof? So
that's right.
So you're making.
That's what I'm saying.
No. You're making the assertion that this happens. You must have the proof. I don't have to have any proof. I don't have to have any proof. You have to have the proof because you're making the statement that women's chanting scriptures makes problem with the uterus. So if you have that proof, present it. But if you don't have that proof, then there's no proof. All I'm saying is there's no proof. You're asking, is there is there opposite proof? I don't need to give opposite proof because I'm not making any statement. You are making the Purva Paksha. Now you give proof.
Right. But you just now said, no, even when there is no proof, anything can happen. No?
Anything can happen to anybody. What is the cause of that happening is another thing. Do you have proof that somebody had a problem with the uterus because of chanting scriptures? That is the question. If you have that proof, show it. If you don't have the proof, then there's no proof that this is true. If there's no proof that it's true, why should I accept it?
In order to dismiss the Purva Paksham, you must make a study. Everybody should make a study of the health of the ladies who have been chanting scripture.
Correct. In order to dismiss the Purva Paksham. Correct. Yes. So there are going to be very few people who believe this. And if we really want to defeat them, if we really want to defeat the Purva Paksha, we have to do a medical survey and we have to show that there are many women chanting Vedas and they have never had a problem. So, okay. So if we really want to defeat this old wives' tale, we have to have some proof. But the point is, we don't have to believe the old wives' tale in the beginning because the old wives' tale is no proof of it. So we don't have to accept the Purva Pakshan at all because he has no proof.
As I said, I again repeat, medical survey should be done.
Right. So can I ask a question? Do you have a statement in Shastra that says that the uterus of women will be disturbed by chanting Shastras?
No, that is only, that's why it's only because why they are prevented from chanting scripture.
No, it's not, I don't care why. I want to know, is there anything written in Shastras?
No, there is, the proof that they are prevented from, they are not allowed to chant scripture.
Show me, I know, I know that there are some proofs in Dharma Shastra that says that those who are not born, those who are not Dvijas, male Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, they should not chant the scriptures. They should not hear the scriptures even. I know there is a rule like that. Just like I know there's a rule, there may be a rule that widows have to shave their heads. But I also know today nobody follows those rules.
Right. But that doesn't mean there is a rule or not. The pramana is there. So ladies are not allowed to chant scripture.
I also know that in Tenacharya Sampradaya, Astakshara mantra is given with Omkara to everybody, Sudras, foreigners, ladies, all people who are said in Dharma Shastras not to have this mantra. This mantra is coming from Narayana Upanishad, and it is a Vedic mantra. And even the Ahobalam, they say there is a swaram with the mantra. So how can Om Namo Narayanaya be taught by Tengalai Sri Vaishnavas to women, to foreigners, and to Sudras, right? Including the Pranava, right? And it is an Upanishadic mantra, but they're teaching it.
Right,
so
I understand the mantra, the Upanishadic mantra, Actually, I told you this Om Namo Narayanaya is only a combination of the words from the scriptures. It's a new or rather invention. I won't call it Om Namo Narayanaya as the single expression found in scripture.
Narayana
Neither
Upanishad.
dvayam.
Om
Neither
Namo
dvayam.
Narayanaya iti mantropasakaha.
Oh, which Upanishad? Narayana.
Yeah. Om Namo Narayanaya iti mantropasakaha.
Please give me that page.
You
Second
know
point
it. You
is,
know this. You know this.
second point is there not any sentence saying that these ladies are not allowed to chant scripture? Now, Ashtakshara mantra. Now you are quoting about Ashtakshara mantra and Omkara.
Yeah.
Ashtakshara mantra.
Again, you're asking me to disprove what I believe, right?
Yeah.
If you believe something, you give us your proof from the scriptures.
No, when you okay. Now the Ashtakshara mantra is given to us to say all inclusive.
Right.
It has no swara according to Janacharya Sampradaya.
I
There's no swara.
I have not understood that. We take it, the pramana for it comes from Narayana Upanishad. In the Narayana Upanishad, there is swaram. So it has swaram in Narayana Upanishad, but it may not have the same swaram as is said in Hobalamat Anakam. In the Anakam, it says there is some other swaram. Okay, maybe there is. But in Narayana Upanishad, it doesn't have any, I don't think it has any, I can look, but I don't see it. It's all udatta. It is not, there's no anudatta, there's no swarita. So it is ekashruti when it comes in Narayana Upanishad. But the whole the Upanishad has swaram.
Do you mean to say the Ashtakshara mantra is given to all with swara or without swara?
It is given
in Janacharya Sampradaya.
Okay. If there are three swaras, right? There's three swaras. So if I chant something ekashruti, if I chant something only with one swara, does it also have swara? Does it need to have all three swaras to be said to have swara? If it has only,
I'm just asking whether the swara is attached, whether it is one or two or three.
The way it is given in the Shastra is the way it is given in Tenacharya Sampradaya. According to Narayana Upanishad, it is Om Namo Narayanaya iti mantropasakaha. So Om Namo Narayanaya iti. Iti means thus. There's no way of giving inverted commas in Sanskrit, so you give iti at the end. So you have Om Namo Narayanaya is the mantra from Narayana Upanishad. It is given to everybody, Sudras, ladies, foreigners.
But again, as you said, Ekashruti, generally, if you have no swara, either Udatta or Swarita or Anudatta, it's called, I will call it neutral. I'll call it neutral.
Yeah, neutral.
Yeah,
But actually, if we look at the Narayana Upanishad has swaram, it has anudatam, it has swaritam, it has dirgha swaritam, and it has udatam. Right? It has all those swarams.
In the Ashtakshara mantra.
That section, there may not be any swarita, there may not be any anudatta, but the whole thing is unmarked, and therefore it is udatta.
Okay. That means it is given with the swara, rather udatta, to all the people. In Janacharya Sampradaya.
Udatta is only the middle tone.
Right.
Is only one tone.
Whatever it is. You cannot call it udatta. It's one to, as you said, ekashruti. So that means the swara is not given to all the people.
I call it udatta because it comes in a text which has all the swaram.
No, my question is
when I look at Narayana Upanishad.
Please listen to me first.
Sure.
Ashtakshara mantra, is it given to all people with any swara, whether it is Ekashruti or Udatta or Anudatta? Sorry.
My
My
question
question is this.
Yeah, and my answer to that is another question. Can you say any mantra without a swara?
Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad is a mantra, is a part of the scripture.
Even classical Sanskrit will be said in one tone. Swara means tone. So there is one tone.
I quote a particular Upanishad which has no swara,
Right.
but it is a part of the scripture.
Right.
Then how do you question this?
I say it doesn't have no tone. It has one tone. Ekashruti means one tone. There's a difference between no and one.
No, we don't have the distinction of Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita in Kathopanishad.
There's no distinction, correct? But there is a tone.
No, whatever it is. No, let me ask.
So when you say without tone, it's not possible to say anything without tone.
Right.
Right.
Why is it always there? So my question is.
So the real question you're asking is Astakshara mantra given with only one tone?
One tone.
It is.
Yeah.
It is given by most people with only one tone. When you got the Astakshara mantra at your Samashrayanam, did the person giving it to you give it to you with more than one tone or only one tone?
No, more than one tone.
Is it?
Yeah.
When you had your Samashrayanam, it was given you with more than one tone. There was some Anudatta and some Swarita.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But it's not so. It's not so as far as I understand in Tenacharya Sampradayam. Because in Narayana Upanishad, it's not there. In Narayana Upanishad, there's only one tone for it.
No, I'm not asking for the proof. I'm not asking for the proof.
Yeah, I'm giving the proof whether you like it or not. The point is, you're not giving me any proof, but whenever you ask me, I'm giving you the proof. I'm telling you where the proof is. Right? That is the difference.
I want to have the procedure understood.
Yeah, me too. I also want the procedure to be understood. So you're telling me that all the Deshika Sampradaya people, or at least all the Ahobalamat people, when they take Samashrayanam, they're given the Astakshara mantra with Swaram.
Swara.
But the ladies are not given with Swaram. The Shudras are not given Swaram. The foreigners, if any foreigners become Vadagalai Sri Vaishnavas, they're also not given with Swaram. That I understand. That may be the way. But I have seen several Samashrayanams for Tenacharya Sampradaya, and the gurus are never giving Astakshara mantra with Swaram. With many Swarams.
I don't think Ahobala Math or any Math, for example, Vadagalai Sri Vaishnava Math, or giving this Astakshara mantra to foreigners and Shudras. They are not giving the Astakshara mantras to foreigners or Shudras of India. Right?
Okay, they're not giving Samashrayanam to foreigners, Sudras, or ladies. They're giving to ladies.
Not ladies they give. Indian ladies.
But not foreigners.
Not foreigners.
I have a friend who is a Sanskrit professor at the University of Malmo in Sweden. He's a foreigner. His name is Martin Ganston. He is initiated by Rangapriya Swami of Bangalore, who is a Vadagalai Sri Vaishnava. Am I right?
At least Ahobalamat. I would call him Ahobalamat.
Okay, so that is my proof that Vadagalais are doing it. But in Ahobalamat, I also know one lady who is a Bharatanatyam dancer. She was studying in Hyderabad, and she took Bharanyasam from 45th year of Ahobalamat. She has Bharanyasam. But he did not give her Samashrayanam.
Right. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Bharanyasam will not involve Astakshara mantra.
Right. So this is another question then. It's possible in Ahobalamat to just take Bharanyasam and not to take Samashrayanam, because the 45th year gave her Bharanyasam, and not because she came to my house one time. She came to Sri Rangam and she came to my house. She's Russian, And we discussed with her, and she said, I have Baranyasam from 45th year. And I said,
And
did you take
another,
Samashranam? She said, no, he didn't give me Samashranam. He only gave Baranyasam.
another example that you gave from Rangapriya Swami. So Rangapriya Swami has been moving with a lot of foreigner disciples, and therefore he offered. Right? Any other Swami who is not dealing with the foreigners, who doesn't know English, as I say categorically, they
Right.
don't give any.
Right. Okay.
Rangapriya Swami might have given, not
Okay.
any other.
Okay.
In Vadagalai Sampradaya.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to understand what the differences are between the different matams. Everybody has their own rules and regulations and system. Even I went to this Vedavyasa Bhatta in Sri Rangam, and he's a Tengalai. He's a Tengalai Acharya. But he told me they will not give to foreigners. They will not give Samashrina to foreigners. Even though other Tengalais are giving to foreigners, he said, we will not give to foreigners. Then I asked him about this Swami Vishwananda, who is a man from Mauritius. He's a man from Mauritius, but he is from Indian ancestors. So he said that man told me that his ancestors were from Brahmins from Gaya. So I gave him some Ashrayanam because they were Brahmins from Gaya. The ancestors were
Gaya.
Brahmins from Gaya. Yeah, from Gaya.
Gaya.
Yeah, from Gaya. But he himself was born in Mauritius. But he is descended from Indians. So he has got Indian DNA or whatever. He's a descent from Indians, like that. So the question is, if it is so, to be specific, to be initiated, one has to be of Indian descent. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. So then my question would be, what does it mean, Indian descent? Is people from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from Tripura, from Assam, from Bangladesh? Are these people of Indian descent? Are people in Sri Lanka of Indian descent? Are people in Singapore of Indian descent?
As you said, and if you have the origin of your ancestors in India, then you can be considered as Indian.
What do you mean
But
by
not
India?
those-
What do you mean by India? Do you mean
So
do you mean the actual physical boundaries of India according to 1947 system of British partition?
Right.
That is. So somehow or other now, you can only take Samashrayanam if you are considered to be of Indian descent according to the way the British carved it up.
Right.
So that means Samashrayanam is dependent upon the way Britain carved up India in 1947.
Right.
So we have to write this in the Shastra then, because this is a prerequisite for property, a prerequisite for Samashrayanam, not for property, because property is Baranyasam. And they're giving Baranyasam to even Russian ladies. So, okay, but for Samashrayanam, it has to be written that according to the way Britain divided up India, if you're descended from somebody who was born inside that geographical area, that is the only type of person that can take Samashrayanam. I understand.
Right.
I got it.
I think Govindacharya's doubt should be conveyed to him.
No, he's also talking more about food offerings, that we do Bhagavata Radhanam, we do Tiravaradhanam only one time, and then we just go and we go and offer the food. We have to open the koil alwa. Do we have to offer Padyagya, Achmaniya, all these things when we offer a second time?
Right.
After we did Paryankasanam, after we did Sayanasana, and we said Yoga Nidra Mupa Kuru at noon, and we say, go and you do the Yoga Nidram. Again in the evening, we want to offer something. Do we have to do, again, we have to do some sort of puja, or do we just put it there in front of the Koil Alwar? Even without opening the box of the Shalagram, can we make an offering?
Right.
This is his idea.
Right.
Is it possible?
Yeah.
Okay. By Dhyanam.
Manasika Aradhana.
Manasika Radhanam.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. this is the way I do it. In my house, we cook, and if we cook some other time, we take it and we put it in the altar and we offer it. When we do it by meditation, we think God eats it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
I excuse me if I got a little bit over enthusiastic about some subjects, but I just want to try to understand the differences, not criticizing anybody for having different opinions. Everybody can have their own faith and their own opinions, but I'm very interested to see if there's any Shastra Pramanas or any traditions that are slightly different, because I want to understand them, why they're doing like that.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः।